Well, let's get some more insight into the bill, which is seeking to grant immunity to principal officers of the National Assembly and perhaps state assemblies as well. We're now being joined by Senator Magnus Abe, who is a member of the 8th National Assembly. You're welcome to the News at 10.
Thank you, Margaret.
Well, this is not the first time this bill is coming up. It came up in the 8th Assembly, which you were a part of. Why do you think it's coming up again?
Well, I think that if you look at things from the perspective of the legislators, you will understand why some of them feel very strongly about these issues, because they feel that this kind of rules will not only bring them at par with the executive, which they see as a co-equal branch of government, but to be able to protect them from what they view as harassment of legislators.
But have any matters really come up to warrant this?
That's the point I would like to make here. For me, what is critical at this point, every law has a particular illness or problem that it seeks to settle or stop in the community. If you look at our legislature as it is today, what difference exactly would this bill make to the ability of the legislators to do their job? I really don't see what major difference it is going to make. With the protection they currently enjoy, which gives every legislator immunity based on whatever they say within the National Assembly, I don't think there's any real emergency in extending the immunity clause to them that will relate to their actions outside the legislature. So I think they may have issues with the public when it comes to that particular aspect of it.
Well, it's skilled second reading now. It's going to be a constitutional amendment. How long is the journey if it's actually going to become law?
I think it still has a long way to go. If it passes second reading in the House of Reps, you still have to go through it in the Senate. And as a constitutional amendment, you're going to need 2/3 majority to pass it. And then when you have passed it, you still have to get 2/3 of the houses of assembly to approve it. I really don't think all that will be a problem, because these are the beneficiaries of the law and they are the ones dealing with the law. But for the public would have issues with it, because if you give immunity to the legislature, at some point people are also going to ask for immunity for the judiciary. And at a time when people want to see a limitation or a restriction of immunity, this cannot be the right time to expand it. If you look at even countries like the US, for example, there is no constitutional provision of immunity for the president or anybody. But the people, the courts on their own, have given them immunity for what are their actions within their official capacity. It's not provided by law. But they don't enjoy any immunity for acts that are done outside of their office, which I think is what Nigerians enjoy and which they now want to extend across the board. I don't think it will be very popular with the Nigerian people.
So, of course, I mean, that will be the implications. Or would there be any further implications, apart from the fact that it's going to be unpopular with Nigerians?
Well, in terms of providing security and confidence to the leaders of the legislature to be bolder in their actions, I think that may provide that psychological booster. But as we have come to discover, it's not the laws that actually make the difference in how people behave. It's the surrounding circumstances that relate to how they come up, how they get their positions, how they even become members of a legislature that determine their behavior. So whatever kind of immunity that you provide, say for the speaker, for example, as long as a governor still has the power to handpick every single member of the House of Assembly, that immunity is not going to make much of a difference in terms of what is actually going to happen.
But do you think it should be a priority?
Personally, at this time, I do not think that, given the current challenges that we're facing as a nation, that we should devote much time to this kind of thing at a time when there is no real need for it, so to speak, in my opinion. But like I said, if you look at it from the perspective of the lawmakers, you will understand why they think that this is important for them. But I don't think it will make that much of a difference.
Well, Senator Magnus Abe, thank you for coming on the News at 10 tonight.
Thank you, Margaret.